So this is a brief video on amethyst and where these beautiful crystals are found within the earth and how they are created, as well as looking at the metaphysical properties and how they can support our lives. So amethyst is part of the quartz family with trace minerals of both iron and aluminium. And it's the iron that gives the quartz this phenomenal, beautiful, different shades of purple. And you'll notice when you see pieces of amethyst that the range of colour goes from being very light to quite dark. And this will really depend on where the amethyst has been sourced and how much iron is within the earth in that particular area. So how these amazing creations are made within the earth is within air pockets called geodes. And geodes are sort of like caverns or caves that have water carrying different minerals within the space, and under incredible pressure and heat over long periods of time, these crystals are formed. So when they are mined, these geodes can be cracked open. That's why often you will see pieces cut in half, which are the big cave formations. And pieces like this would have been part of a far greater geode. So the clusters are just little parts of the geode wall. You can also find amethyst just in singular points in various sizes as well. So amethyst has been revered from far back in history, across culturally, as a stone of royalty. And that's why you see a lot of that colour in the robes of the royals, and amethyst features in the high breastplates of priests, as well as the crowns and sceptres of royal families across the world. So amethyst really calls us and instills that regal nature within each and every one of us that is not boastful but one of humility. So it is also a crystal of great peace and serenity, and that's why it's often recommended to have a piece of amethyst near your bed, because it's very supportive for peaceful environments and for sleeping and dreaming. So amethyst also has the properties of stress reduction and being a protective energy as well. If you've heard of the purple flame, the colour purple is used to transmute any negativity within a space. So it's a wonderful thing to have, especially around children or any spaces that a lot of people pass through. A lot of energies can be brought into these spaces. So having amethyst has a purifying effect on the space. Now the formation of the amethyst also has different effects. Something like a cluster, for example, is a fantastic addition to any coffee table or any place where people will gather. So you imagine that each of these points represent each individual coming into a space. So it's a wonderful place to have in areas where you want people to be together, communicate harmoniously in a peaceful way. And having something like an amethyst cave, for example, has a slightly different energetic effect on a space, because the cave it's a concave shape. So the energy is allowed to flow in, wash through this amethyst and circulate out. So it has a really beautiful circulating effect in any space. So it would be wonderful where there are a lot of people and a lot of movement coming through. So I hope this gave you a little bit of insight on how amethyst can enhance spaces and the individual. It's a wonderful stone to wear as well, to bring out our best, most peaceful, humble, and in a beautiful protective space as well.